Hey WILDR folks, Alicia here. Today we're going to talk about what you can do to reduce calf soreness after activity. This activity could be anything from running or cross-country skiing to even dog sledding, but no matter what's causing your soreness, there's a couple things you can do to reduce that over time. Now, sometimes the soreness is just going to come because the activity you've done is a unique neural stimulus that you haven't done in a while. So think about your first time doing a hard cross-country ski, or it could be because you're increasing intensity or volume quite quickly. Now, if that's the case, maybe after that first session, you won't find that you get soreness again. But either way, it's a good indication that working on both the strength and range of motion of your ankle joints and your calf muscles is going to help reduce that soreness in the future. So today I'm going to talk about what you can do for warm up, what you can do for cool down, and what you can do as a general strengthening session. And hopefully these things are going to help you address calf soreness if that's what you're feeling when you come off the trails. So let's talk about warm up first. So we want to warm up our calves and get those muscles moving through our full range of motion. I have found it really helpful to do what I call a two-part calf letdown for warm up. And what we want to do there is use a raised surface of some sort. This could be like the bottom step of a set of stairs. You are then going to find a stretch with a bent leg in your calf. Then you're going to find a stretch with a straight leg, relatively straight leg through your calf, and then you are going to go up onto your tippiest of tiptoes to contract that muscle. We're going to do 10 of these. When we're doing them for warm up, we want to focus on not holding each of the stretches for very long and really focusing on being powerful as we come up on the top part of the movement. Now I've got my other foot down and that's just helping me stabilize. I've got most of my weight through that back leg. And the reason we want to do this straight-legged and with a bent leg is because different part of your calf muscle is being used when the leg is bent versus when it is straight. The second warm-up move I typically love for people to do if they've got calf soreness is a rotating calf raise. So we're going to start with our hips pointing across the room. We want to have a stretch through our calf, and then we are going to come up and turn so that our knee faces the other way and our hips face the other way. And this is just warming up our calf through kind of the spiral motion that it might go through as we are kicking off behind us. 10 of those. Then I would work on the same range of motion with your knee bent. Again, we want to be using the calf through a bent knee range of motion and a straight knee range of motion. Your feet also play a vital role in this, so remember to keep those toes spread when you're doing all of these movements. Now, let's go to after our activity. We have come off the trails, and now we want to recover. I've got a couple 6-minute mobility videos that I'll put below that you could just follow along and do with me. But I would recommend after your activity, you focus more on the stretch portion of these and add in a little bit of foam rolling as opposed to focusing on the strengthening side of things. So we could do the same two-part letdown, but now we are going to hold this stretch for 30 seconds to a minute. And then we are going to hold the second part of our stretch for 30 seconds to a minute. And when you're focused on stretching, one really neat thing I've seen with people is that sometimes people will go through the path of least resistance. So maybe they will let their arch cave in, or they'll always stretch the calf the same way with the knee over the outside toe. It depends on who you are as a person. So when I'm stretching, I love to consciously rotate my leg, keeping my toes still spread, but I will point my knee over my outside toe and then over my inside toe. And that's actually going to rotate my leg, my whole leg, and I'll find that I feel the stretch in a different part of my calf, depending on how much rotation is happening. Now, it's important to know that stretching itself doesn't actually reduce soreness from an activity. Foam rolling, though, has been shown in some cases to reduce that soreness after an event. So if you want to try foam rolling, you can use a pole from your activity. You can use an actual foam roller, or you can use a ball. The main things to think about when you're foam rolling, I'm going to use this bar so you can see me, is I want to never go on a joint. We always want to be on soft tissue. You want to start away from your heart and roll towards your heart. And then the thing I like to do is, again, incorporate rotation. So I'm going to rotate at the bottom here. If I find a spot that's particularly tender, I can stop and take a couple deep breaths on it before rolling up the calf a little bit. And then again, rotating my legs so that I'm hitting all the aspects of my calf muscles. I'm going up. And we're going to do this all the way until we get just behind the pit of the knee joint. Now, when it comes to strengthening those calf muscles so that over time you're not feeling that soreness, there's a couple separate things you want to consider as well. The first is your calves are made of more of type 1 fibers than type 2 fibers. Think of type 2 fibers as very strong, very powerful for shorter amounts of time, and type 1 fibers is more of your endurance fibers. Because of that, when you're trying to strengthen the calves, you want to load up a considerable amount of weight if you're going to be holding weights in your hands, but you also want to be doing a higher number of reps. So I typically would recommend 12 to 20 reps of a calf raise in a variety of different positions. And I want to focus on that client feeling the burn at the end of those sets to know that I'm triggering hypertrophy or muscle growth in my type 1 fibers. The other thing I want to do if I'm working on trying to get stronger calves is not neglect the feet. I have a number of foot strengthening and foot mobility videos that I can link below as well. By working on both the foot and the calf together, you're going to find that you get more bang for your buck. Now, this is kind of just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to working on the lower leg for endurance events of all kinds. But it's an important thing to focus on because 40% of running injuries actually happen below the knee. So if we can build ourselves a little bit of buffer by building strength in those muscles, then we're going to be a little bit farther ahead. If you have any questions about this, I would love it if you pop them in the comment box below or sent me a message. Otherwise, I hope you have a wilder week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.